Welcome, everyone, to the Sickos Committee Podcast. This is our podcast for the evening of April 21st, 2024. I'm going to flag this right now for our listeners. This one's going to get wild because we're working on exhaustion and alcohol and professional burnout. This is going to be a fun one. I'm excited.
Today is the go crazy, go stupid episode.
Absolutely. Why not? More so than usual, which is saying something.
It's fine. It's fucking fine.
Yep, there we go. Oh, Jesus Christ. Beth, how are you?
I'm okay. Why would you ask? So let's talk about alto clef.
Oh God. Do we have to?
Why are you reading alto clef?
So I'm playing for a show right now, and we couldn't find a violist. And there are 2 viola books in this show. And I mean, we went like 10 people deep. We were talking to people in Lancaster to see if they wanted to come in and play, and just the pay wasn't good enough. And there was no way we couldn't get people.
Listener, that is a long drive. That is like a 3 or 4 hour drive.
Yeah, $50 a day to come 4 hours. Like, it's not, we couldn't make it make sense. There's nothing we could do. We couldn't get a person. We tried as hard as we could. No dice. So I was told on Monday of last week that I needed to just roll it into what I'm already playing for the show. Listener, I'm already covering 2 parts. So we were going up to 4. And the thing about it is that I had a big old conference between when I was told about it and the rehearsal that I got out of 20 minutes ago.
Jesus Christ.
So there was no time to do any of the things. And I had a case of the stupid. And when my keyboard friend said, "Oh, alto clef, no big deal. Just transpose your keyboard down a set, transpose it by a 7th."
Nope.
My brain went, "Yeah, that'll probably be fine." Listener, I know better.
You know better.
I cover transposed parts all the ding dang time. So what that means is that sure, like do will be in the right place in your scale, and that's it. That's it. Everything will be in the wrong key. Everything else will be in the wrong key. And I'm like, this will probably be fine. This is going to buy me enough time that I can go to my conference, do what I need to do. I'll come back. I'll load straight. I came back from the conference, packed my stuff and loaded in. And while I was loading in, I discovered my terrible error. And what my terrible error meant was that instead of just reading the stuff in alto clef like it was in treble clef, I had to read 4 different parts. 2 of which were in alto clef, 1 of which was in treble clef, and 1 of which was in bass clef for 4 hours.
So your brain is just done.
I can't. I don't understand what anything means. By the end of it, it was starting to make sense, and that was terrifying to me in a way that I can't articulate.
Yeah, that's worse.
Yeah,
I think that's worse.
It is absolutely worse. Yeah. So I went in and I just looked like an idiot. I looked like I'd never played music before in my life. I could have rolled my face on the keyboard and gotten a better response out of it in the first hour of this rehearsal. The guy who's directing it, who was my elementary band director, is looking at me like, "Are you okay? Is this maybe a stroke? The hospital's kind of close." And he keeps looking at me. He's like, he's like, "Accidentals, everyone."
God, the most fucking insulting thing. Hey, everyone, check your key. Get the keys out. Shake the keys at the group. Check your key signature.
Yeah, we're doing that, and this is a professional group with symphonic level players, and I'm like, oh God, it was so bad. It was so incredibly bad. We get to midway through, and he's like, "Make sure you're checking these key signatures." And thank God the keyboardist next to me is like, "She's sight reading in alto clef," and he's like, "Never mind."
All is forgiven. Yeah, alto clef is a dangerous, scary place.
To the violists of the world, I'm very, very sorry, but Jesus, oh my God! It was
violists aren't listening to this. They're drinking sadly somewhere.
Also, violists are used to this because they know they're weird.
Beth, how did you come across the NEC men's volleyball tournament?
I was dropping someone off at the Hampton Inn in Altoona yesterday who could not get back from said conference a normal way to Lancaster, and so they were taking the train to get back today, and as I walked in, I saw "Welcome to the official hotel of the NEC volleyball tournament." I'm like, what? I leave this town for 3 days.
I was coming back to Love Field tonight and in Dallas, and came across the Memphis women's tennis team in line at Whataburger. It's a sign, folks. College athletics is everywhere.
Do we know where the Memphis women's tennis team was going?
I think oh, I don't. Oh, let's see. I think that would be the American Conference, right?
Yes. Well, assuming that assuming that the American sponsors women's tennis.
Apparently, they're heading to. Let's see here.
Sickos
No,
Committee.
it
Google
looks
things.
like they were leaving.
Okay.
They did lose the final to SMU.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. I do have, well, in a little bit, I have some non-NCAA shout-outs to give in a little bit. Pitt Girl, how are you?
I was just about to remind you that you only introduced Beth.
I know. I was hanging back around.
Yeah. I am great. I got to do one of my favorite semi-annual things, which is attending my local library's bag sale day during the book sale, which they do in the spring and the fall. You walk in, you give them a crisp $10 bill, and they give you a reusable grocery bag and a paper grocery bag, and you can just go crazy. It's amazing. It's the Scholastic Book Fair for adults, but everything is basically free. If you think about it, because you've already paid your $10, so
Yeah.
you can just take whatever and as much of whatever as you want. And it's basically, the more books you get, the cheaper they are until they're basically free. It's great. I enjoy doing that so much. I have found several good things over the several years that I have been attending this library book sale. I cannot recommend it more strongly to all of our lovely listeners if you, like us, are nerds. I got a book about it's called All Americans, and it is about the time that the Carlisle Indian School beat Harvard. So, like,
Yep, that's a
let's
big one.
go.
Have you guys ever bought clothing by the pound?
I've bought it by
Yes.
the bag.
Okay. I just wanted to know if that was a thing. I was at my parents' place in South Texas, and we had a place called Ropa Usada. And you used to be able to go in and buy like clothing by the pound. You'd buy like a bag of it, of shirts or just whatever you wanted.
Mhm.
It was great. Okay, just making sure that was like
Yeah,
thing.
the one of the big Goodwills in Lancaster County has that, where you go in and you root through the bin. You don't just like buy a pound of clothing, but what you pull out, you pay by weight for.
Okay, cool. Commish, how are you, sir?
That throws me off. I have never heard that concept before in my life.
Yeah, clothing by the pound. It's great.
Clothing by the pound.
It's funny because it's the stuff that you would find there is people's like family reunion shirt, the stuff that now sells at Urban Outfitters for like $40 that someone like custom makes, but it's actually someone's family reunion shirt from like or Disney trip shirt from.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard of by the pound clothing. Like it's weird.
Ask your wife about ropa usada.
I'm sure she's well aware of it.
I'm pretty sure she would know about that.
Yeah, I've never encountered something like that, which I don't necessarily. It was interesting, like the eyebrows raised for me personally. I was like, what? Okay. And then I'm just in my head, like when Pitt Girl was just like, yeah, you just buy clothing from the bin and then they weigh it like it's orange leaf frozen yogurt or something.
Mm-hmm. Exactly like that. You got to make sure that you get your money's worth. You don't want any heavy jeans are too expensive. You don't want jeans.
That's right. You don't want to put those extra fixins in your in your clothing by the pound, which is very, very, yeah. I'm kind of tickled by this concept now. I will have to look into this. I wonder if there's any here where I live.
Guarantee you, there's something that guarantee.
Probably.
How else are you doing?
Look, I am recovering from, like, as I said on the last podcast, I said this was Commish's flu podcast.
It got worse, folks.
It got worse. Like Wednesday, I was down hard. Thursday, down, just as bad. Friday, I was like, yeah, I'm better. Let me go cut the grass.
Bad decision.
Bad call there, because Saturday I was way back down. Today, I took it easy. I was like, okay, whatever. We got, like, let me just relax and just take it at an easy pace instead of like trying to, hey, I'm totally fine after dealing with hand, foot, mouth combo, flu, whatever the hell I had. Let me go cut the grass. What the hell is wrong with me? I was like, it was the point where like, hey, I know I'm not healthy, but the grass is like, there's weeds. I need to get these weeds down. and this dad instinct kind of takes
Terminal
over.
dad brain.
Like you're
Terminal
just
dad
like
brain.
you're
Jesus
like I'm
Christ.
like it's been bugging me the entire week. Like I was planning on like doing it on like Tuesday, and I was like I have not been feeling well at all, and then so it's just sitting there staring at you every time you step outside or something like that, just taunting you, like looking at you and like you need to cut me. Look how high this is. This is ridiculous. Your neighbors think you're a joke. This is some,
Wow.
what kind
This
of
is-
man? What kind of man are you? You can't
This
even
is some
cut the grass and
this
keep
is some
your
psychology
keep your-
here. Hold up.
keep your weeds in line. For God's sakes, you got a house on the corner. Be proud. Cut the grass. So I cut the grass and I paid
People
for
go
it
to
Saturday.
therapy for stuff like this. You know that, right?
Yeah, I guarantee you that your neighbors are not thinking as much
No,
about
I
your
know.
weeds
I
as
definitely-
you are thinking about your weeds.
I will look, I am in this never-ending crusade against crabgrass, and the crabgrass keeps returning, and I vow to defeat it no matter how many times it returns. I will defend my yard from this crabgrass, but it will stare at you and mock you with how high the weeds can grow in your face. And I paid the price on Saturday for that, but I'm feeling much better tonight and glad to be here with you.
Arthur, you hit the wall yet?
It looked like he just woke him up.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to wake you up, Arthur. Oh, no audio
Arthur,
either.
we can't hear you.
No audio
hear
either.
you.
Oh, this is
No
great.
audio.
All I
He's
hear
still
is like
asleep.
pops and crackles. We're great.
We'll just
Okay.
say he's asleep.
Yeah, he's here.
He gave us a thumbs up. He's alive.
Hit mute. Hit mute. You're getting your pop and crackle. I don't know what's going on.
You're just a big pile of white noise, Arthur.
Yeah.
Is that
I can't even. Oh,
That was it. That was it.
okay?
we can hear you now.
I don't know. I just somehow when I opened up StreamYard today, it switched to the wrong mic, so it wasn't using this mic that is right in front of my face, which is I don't know. Man, it was a lot having Long Beach and Talladega going on at the exact same time. Like that was just so much work for my brain trying to follow and parse two things at once, and yeah, like that was my whole day. Like I don't have room for anything else.
There you go.
You, handshake, Beth, trying to understand too many things at the same time.
So I wanted to give some congratulations to teams who have won championships this weekend. First off, we'll go NCAA. The Stanford men's gymnastics team picks up their 5th in a row, their 5-peat. I believe this is they said it was the 40-something season in a row that Stanford has won a national title in something.
Wow.
Right. I don't think people understand sometimes that Stanford is very good at a lot of sports and they fund a lot of sports very well. And they just do that.
Yeah, I think some of it is that Stanford is kind of like Penn State in that they just sponsor a shitload of sports, some of which don't have that many teams in them. I am not knocking Stanford's success, but it is also easier to do things like win a national championship in something like men's gymnastics just because the field is smaller.
Do they have a bowling team? I don't think so. Because they're afraid.
That's right.
Fucking afraid of bowling. Fucking afraid of Jacksonville State. Also, LSU wins their first women's gymnastics national title. Shout out Ben and all of our LSU listeners. They've been just so incredibly excited about this. Over the moon.
Ben and I think Catherine B.
Ben was there. Ben got to watch it live.
Ben got
That's
to watch it
amazing.
live. He said he just returned back from Fort Worth back to his home. So I hope he's just like sleeping with a smile on his face right now.
SMU picks up the national equestrian win. Which, okay, sure. That tracks. That feels correct.
I mean,
That's another small field sport, but good for you.
I
Pony up.
kind of feel like that they have an advantage because they are the ponies, and there's not many other schools that have like horse mascots, so it feels like they do have a good advantage in equestrian.
I have
Boise State and Central Michigan have entered the chat.
I have started following the
But that's
the
a wild
SMU mascot.
Bronco now,
the SMU mascot, the one that shits on the field. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Reveille can be a horse if you believe enough.
I don't know. I mean, I just think it's good to see a Mustang win something. as someone who's watched the entire NASCAR season so far.
Woo.
Ooh,
Mm.
oh, that's spicy.
That was
And our beloved Kansas State Crop Cats. They have picked up yet another national title, this time in Idaho.
That's right. They did it on the road.
I want to take this opportunity to remind you not to feed crops to your cats. Thank you.
Probably shouldn't, yes. But these Crop Cats.
These crop cats.
The best from all this stuff was that they posted some like action shots of the kids judging crops, which is great. And all of our followers noticed a weird logo. It looked like a P with a weird cutout. And they discovered it was Panhandle State University from Oklahoma, which has
Hell
one of
yeah.
my favorite logos in the world. It's like the Purdue P, but the inside is the state of Oklahoma.
Oh, that's excellent.
I'll drop it in the chat because it's very good. The Panhandle State Aggies. The only reason I knew that is because I was keeping track of Aggie teams this season. Dropped it in the chat. It's great.
So I thought Panhandle State was the one that just hired Jerry Glanville as a defensive coordinator, but I got the schools in the Panhandle mixed up. It's actually Northwestern Oklahoma State. So I was like, that's the one that hired Jerry Glanville, the 82-year-old Jerry Glanville as their defensive coordinator. No, it was the other one in the Panhandle, Northwestern Oklahoma State.
We also had the rival cheer and dance competition this past weekend. Because earlier this year, Aubie, the Auburn Tiger, won the best mascot at I forget, this is a schism issue. I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is.
It's like Quiz Bowl.
The cheer
Well,
and
it's kinda
dance
like
at
the
Avignon
cheer
or
dance.
whatever.
There's
Yeah.
so many, it feels like boxing. Let's just unite the belts already, for God's sakes.
Well, so on this side, Truman the Tiger from Mizzou won.
Yeah.
And I have started to coin the phrase the Missourenaissance.
The Missoureissance.
I'm trying to make this work.
I
The
like it.
Missourenaissance is right there, Jordan.
I know. I like Missourenaissance. No,
Missoureissance?
we're living in a Missourenaissance because they were getting that nice new stadium. They're getting the upgrades. They've won the chess championship. They got the best mascot. They got the best nuclear reactor.
They're on a Missoution from God.
Yes.
We got,
Done.
yeah.
Yep.
I like the Pitt Girl. Say yours again. For some odd reason my brain.
Missourenaissance.
Missourenaissance. Okay, that's tougher to say though than the
Missourenaissance.
Yeah.
But Missourenaissance actually sounds like Renaissance, which is what I'm trying to do. I don't know what it's happening in at Mizzou, but they are just coming alive, winning things. They're also, by the way, and again, I'm saving this for later, but I'll say it on here. BYU has once again taken the national title in hip hop dance and jazz dance, so we get to mention that yet again.
I mean, they are an institution in that category. I don't know why, but they nailed it.
They're dancing is something that they do extremely well there, and I don't know. Book of Mormon taught me Mormons can dance, so I guess that's it.
I want NCAA to sponsor the sport of bad dancing. Because I now badly want to know what school has the worst dancers.
Baylor.
Yeah. They were only allowed to start dancing about 30 years ago. This is bringing me back to the Ohio State thing of like cheerleaders, women in short skirts. But in 1997 and not 1940 whatever.
It's like probably one of those schools that, that was just like all male, and then all of a sudden they're co-ed. Nobody knows.
What does the Citadel's dance team look like?
Oh, that's a thought.
Yeah.
Do they have one?
The Texas A&M has to have a dance squad, right? They have to.
Do they?
I don't know.
Aggie dance team.
They have a mariachi.
Texas Aggie dance team.
There we go.
Texas A&M athletics.
It's this 4-time
Spinning
national
meatball.
champion.
This thing ain't loading. Did you find it?
Aggie dance team. I found their Instagram. The 4-time national champions.
Done.
Oh.
They won
Okay.
most recently in 2022, it looks like.
It looks like it. Yeah.
I'm gonna post a picture.
Hey, girl, do you want to talk about the Jim Harbaugh tattoo?
I do.
So tell the story. What is it?
All right. So, gentle listener, at some point during their 15-0 championship run, Jim Harbaugh promised the team that if they won the national championship, he would get a tattoo. Good. Cool. This is a thing other head coaches have done, as I will mention in a few moments. Jim Harbaugh lived up to his promise today, or over the weekend during Michigan's spring game, and he got his tattoo. And it is a block M, and it says 15-0 below it, which is fine, except for the fact that it is A, black and white, so the M looks somewhat like the Mizzou M or the Maryland M, and B, and more importantly, it is small. I would hazard a guess that it is about the same size as the one that I have as the tattoo, which is not a Michigan block M, on my inner forearm, just below my elbow.
I did not know you had a tattoo.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Well, sure we did.
But anyway, yes, listener, I have a tattoo, and it takes up most of the width under my elbow across my arm. I would guess that Jim Harbaugh's tattoo is about that same size, but he put it on his upper arm in the middle, like classic tattoo spot right below the shoulder, right? But it's so small that it just looks tiny.
It'll get bigger when he gets swole.
The block M is it's not even a great block M. Like it isn't even the Michigan block M.
No, it looks like a typewriter put it there.
It's so little. And the thing that is the most upsetting about all of this is that we know that coaches can do really cool shit when they promise to get their team a tattoo for some reason, because Jerry Kill got like damn near a half sleeve after New Mexico State won a bowl game a couple years ago, and it was full color and had big guns and was just cool. And Jim Harbaugh is here in a polo and gray khakis with his sleeve rolled up, showing this tattoo that looks like it's one of those ones that you get with the sponge when you're a little kid at a fair.
I did drop a tattoo someone made of Jim. Someone has a tattoo of Jim Harbaugh from Saved by the Bell. I posted that in chat.
So this begs the question: do any of you have a former employer that you would be willing to have tattooed on your body? Because Jim Harbaugh doesn't work for Michigan anymore.
No, that's right.
I was technically an employee of the University of Pittsburgh. I do not have a Pitt-themed tattoo, but it's a thing I think about occasionally.
I have never left a job on good enough terms that I would consider getting.
So your work-related tattoo is just a picture of a bridge that's on fire.
Basically,
seriously, on some former coworkers, if I see like that logo or commercial, there will still be a middle finger in their direction. I will just say that. So definitely not a former employer tattoo whatsoever. I'm looking at this one, like I keep looking at it, and I'm like, it's like such a plain tattoo. It's like there's no flair.
Spencer Hall, who did not even go to Michigan, has better Michigan tattoos.
His Totoro Michigan tattoo is so much better than this one. Not that Jim Harbaugh knows what My Neighbor Totoro is, but that's another conversation.
He has the same smile as My Neighbor Totoro.
It's just like a normal, like here's a font M, whatever font it was, 15-0 underneath it, and that's it. Like I'm assuming it's navy blue, right? Like
it's black.
It's black. Okay, so that's not even there. But when I first saw the picture, I kind of just thought somebody was doing a henna tattoo, or something like that.
Right.
But like I felt like this is him doing it, and in like the most whole milk fashion way possible.
Well, that's who he is.
I mean, the other thing about it, though, the thing that kills me about it is that this tattoo is fine at this size if you put it somewhere else. This tattoo is also fine there if you make it slightly larger.
This just needs a little bit of pinstriping and it'd be a hell of a tramp stamp.
I was just thinking, what does a Michigan tramp stamp look like, and how can we get that?
I also was ranting about this a little bit to obnoxiously Pitt boyfriend because he asked me what we were going to talk about tonight, and I told him, and he was like, "Did you expect this man to get a tramp stamp?" And I said, "No, but honestly, probably would have been a better tattoo. Don't at me."
Okay, no, here's the thing. Did I expect him to get a tramp stamp? No. Am I 100% positive that any of us could have talked him into getting a tramp stamp? Yes. Yes,
does-
I am.
He does
Yeah, I-
feel very suggestible in certain
Oh
ways.
yeah, like I feel like if we're like, no, everyone's getting one of these, they'll respect you more. Like
I
it's
wa-
you'll
I
be
wanna
a better
jump-
man.
Roman Wilson, noted good tattoo haver.
Yeah.
Talk him out of this.
At least go with the knuckles.
Yeah.
You got MICH, and then on the other hand, 15
Holy
dash 0.
No, you could do Michigan on all four knuckles, like
I
straight
mean-
across.
Michigan
across.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it works.
I mean, whatever.
Great.
If you want
Sickos
to put the
committee
15
spelling things.
could have did that.
And
Could
then
have done that.
if he's gonna do this, he should also have gotten the butterfly on the ankle or something too.
I really wish he would have got like a teardrop tattoo with in that with Ohio State in it.
Sad Brutus Buckeye and
Sad
the
Brutus.
teardrop.
In the teardrop.
Sad Big Nut. A full back tat of Sad Big Nut.
Oh.
Yes. I have dropped some of my favorite. I've been Googling Michigan tattoos and dropped some of my favorite in the chat. There are some great ones here. There are some really aggressively
There's-
large ones
there-
here.
Again, this feels like the most
options.
bland
Oh,
tattoo
God.
possible.
Right? That's exactly my.
And that's Harbaugh. So it fits.
Oh, I do like the Wolverine with the, that's Spencer's, one of Spencer's. The
Yeah,
Wolverine with
the Wolverine in the top
monocle.
hat of Spencer's. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
How about the one of the guy who tattooed the Michigan block M on his forehead?
It
I
looks
mean,
like
I
it's not
see-
more closer to the top of his head.
A headline from
Man.
For the Win: 53-year-old man with Michigan tattoo on his head has no regrets.
I mean,
Some of
it
these
looked
are
like
good
he needed to use
conceptually and have
sunscreen.
poor execution, like the one with the Wolverine that's like breaking through the person's skin. I do actually like the one with the like sailor Wolverine.
So there are so many good Sailor Wolverine ones. It makes an excellent tattoo.
Yeah, it makes sense. It like aligns with the like trad style.
Yes, it's great.
Yeah.
It looks like something my grandpa would have had when he was in the military. Yeah, I feel like he just did the most milquetoast thing possible, and that sucks.
I mean,
If-
this is Jim Harbaugh.
This is
I don't
Harbaugh.
know
Like,
what
I
what do
he
you-
guess, but like,
expected.
if my
He's
team
living
went
in an
15 and
RV.
0, holy shit! Like full across my chest tattoo. Like
just giant block M back piece.
fuck yes, why not? What? How is it going to get better from here as a head coach? Like, what's going to a Super Bowl? That's
He
not
could
nearly as
actually
interesting.
he could actually be there for all of the wins.
Hey, you know what? Those 15 and 0 were it's an emotional 15 and 0. Okay.
Sometimes what you need to succeed is just to walk away.
What says more about his leadership, Pitt Girl, that he set them up to succeed and they could step away?
Leadership is about what happens when you're not in the room.
The best chefs know when to stop adding things, including themselves. I don't put myself into my food. Never mind. Stop that. That feels weird.
Jim Harbaugh is actually the greatest jazz musician of all time because he knows how to play the silence.
Mhm. It's all about the games you don't coach.
Okay, next up. The Commanders apparently. What is this? I did not read this tweet. Commish, tell me what this tweet is.
All right. So I've been personally on a weird NFL sickos level. I've been fascinated with the franchise, now known as the Washington Commanders. When they were in previous ownership, Dan Snyder, not a great human being by any stretch of the saying. I always wanted their franchise to fail. Not a big fan of them. Not necessarily just, did not want them to prosper at any point because of the owner, which, there's some teams you just don't like. Not in my division, not like, I enjoyed some of their players, there's a lot of history there. I'm just not a big fan of Dan Snyder.
Sure.
Them like moving the team, the horrible facilities that they play in, many different things on top of like
The fact that they shredded RG3's ankle.
Yeah, there was a lot of different things that went on in his tenure that was just not great. And again, along with him being a contemptible human being, not necessarily a big fan of them. Now, since he sold the team, I don't care how much he profited from it, whatever, he's no longer associated with the team. This has turned into a little bit of a curiosity standpoint for me, the commish, as a little bit of the NFL sickos level. So they have a new ownership group, so to speak. They have now a new coach because they just got rid of their previous coach. And now they're doing things that are a little bit, unorthodox, trying to find some sort of that good Joe Gibbs magic that they had before Snyder was there. And like,
Wait, Dan Quinn is their head coach?
Yes. Just
wow,
happened.
I missed that entirely. Okay,
yes.
cool.
All right. So I know not many people follow the NFL like religiously whatsoever, but this team has been extremely curious because they went from, the formerly known as the Washington Blanks to the Washington football team. Now they're the generic Washington Commanders. They have new leadership. They have a new general manager. They have a new coach. They have a new coach. Yes, Dan Quinn. That's right. Remember him from Atlanta Falcons fame. So I'm very curious on this. And then I see a tweet come across and we get added in it a little bit here. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, why are we getting tagged in a tweet? And so I look at it. I'm like, okay, I was already kind of curious on the Washington Commanders franchise because it's very weird. It's a weird scenario. They're trying to find, I don't know. They don't know what they're doing clearly. And, the Commanders were never knowing what they're doing before anyway. So it's kind of entertaining to me. This is a tweet from Albert Breer. And he says, the Commanders kicked off their Mass 30 visit tonight by taking the draft prospects, including Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, and JJ McCarthy, to Topgolf for a casual dinner and mixer. More than 20 potential draftees are in town, and they'll all be at the facility tomorrow. To me,
are they trying to get them to rush? What the fuck is this?
I don't know. And so I had to dig into this a little bit further. I'm very curious on what the hell this was like. I very, very curious here. So I followed up, and then I was following Albert with the story. He went on the Rich Eisen show, and he discussed that the GM that they have now came from the 49ers, and the 49ers did something similar to this before, so they wanted to bring it over to Washington. And so there was 22 prospects total, including those 4 quarterbacks, and they took them all to Topgolf. Now, we've had 2 different episode titles involving Topgolf on this podcast. So this kind of felt like something that the committee...
an enormous amount of podcasts, really, for a bunch of people that I'm going to guess have mostly never done Topgolf. I've never done Topgolf. Have y'all ever done Topgolf?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's
I've done it once because it's expensive as hell.
It is.
It seems like it would be expensive as hell. Most golf things seem expensive.
Their mini
as
golf
hell.
is cheap as hell, though. Their mini golf is great.
I also would be likely to whack myself in the head with a golf club, so it's probably best that I avoid that.
The one thing I really enjoy about Topgolf is either like the people that fall into the netting. Those are fun. Those are fun videos. Then there's the ones that are just like crazy, just hitting the ball way over the net. And I think there's like an infamous one where he hits it over the net and lightning strikes and all the power goes out, which is great. There's something like that, but there is.
I'm absolutely jotting down when we have our yearly conference in Dallas, because of course we will.
The fun part for me is
we're going over to Topgolf.
Okay, we're going to Topgolf. So, but the fun part for me is I'm left-handed. I'm a left-handed golfer. So So I have the weird, awkward decision anytime that I go to play golf at like a driving range or something like that. If I don't have my clubs or if I'm out of town or something like that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to find some clubs because I'm left-handed. Or am I the weird Topgolf person that has to bring his own clubs because I'm left-handed and I can't trust that they have a left-handed rental set?
Yeah.
So yes, that's the one thing with Topgolf here. The fun thing for me is in the scenario that the Commanders have laid out, there's 22 prospects. You have 22 potential draftees. I don't know what rounds you got. I don't know what you have exactly, but you have them all at Topgolf. And like, how is this helping you decide on who to draft?
I mean, if they don't have a good golf game, they ain't shit. I will say they do have 3 picks in the first 2 rounds, including 2 very high picks in the second round and the second pick overall.
So they have the second pick overall, and they've
and then
welcomed
pick 36 and 40.
Yes, so they welcome 4. I would say 4 quarterbacks who have the potential to be selected second overall, maybe.
Yep.
To a casual dinner and mixer.
A casual dinner and mixer.
What's a football mixer?
I assume these people had better college visits.
Guaranteed. Because, like, who are they mixing with? It's not like they've also got prospective cheerleader draftees, right?
Right.
Like,
No, it's got to be just a bunch of. It's not even donors.
It's just a bunch of guys doing Topgolf. Guys being dudes.
This is a decent bachelor party, a bad rush event. This is, oh God. I've seen so many things like this, but usually involve.
We're so glad that you want to rush the Washington Commanders.
It's exactly what it feels like. It feels like a fraternity that is low on membership and needs funds.
Make sure you carry your binder everywhere, and we'll teach you the secret word. It's racist.
They should have stayed Washington football team anyway. Don't at me.
Utah Hockey Club.
Utah Hockey Club.
Done.
R.I.P. the Coyotes. But if they do in fact declare themselves the Utah Hockey Club, I will be immediately sympathetic.
Yeah, this is again. This is kind of one of my favorite teams to just like stare at from the side, not being like a fan of. It's just like, what the hell are they doing over there? And then I see this, it's like, okay, what is this like? It just, I'm imagining I think you should leave skit where it's just like one person who doesn't want to be drafted by them, and they're just constantly doing the zip line. It's just like Drake May's over there, he's just pounding balls. He's just hitting ball after ball after ball after ball and not talking to anybody whatsoever. That's all he's trying to do.
This is, oh my God, this is just so bad. This is also, did they go to hibachi? They all, they flipped a shrimp into their mouth too. Did they go to, did they go to a fancy steakhouse? Did they get the tomato slices too?
Is it like a combine thing if you take a bunch of quarterback prospects to the hibachi place? It's like if they're not catching the shrimp in their mouth, is that pretty much the end of their interview?
Oh, absolutely.
Right. That's some as scientific as those written tests that they do too.
If they flinch from the volcano onion tower,
they're
not going to be good in the pocket.
Not good in the pocket. No, not good in the pocket. They cannot handle the pressure of the volcano.
Now that I'm thinking about this, you could really tell a lot about someone from their behavior at a hibachi table.
We may have to patent this. Let's do this. So
our patented hibachi metric.
The Benihana.
We could make a lot of money selling this as like a team building thing.
We got
to corporations.
Yeah. Ooh, and
TM.
And the best part is, I volunteered to train as hibachi chef to do this.
No, okay.
Jordan will learn the ways of teppanyaki.
Hold on.
Three quarterback prospects stabbed with a knife when Jordan got a little happy with his bounce.
You put like all 22 prospects in the hibachi restaurant. They can only sit like 8 across.
There's some big ones. I don't know.
I don't know how big they are, but you have a couple of different tables, and then you have you put some of the prospects that you're really curious about, and you put a non-trained hibachi chef there. So they have, and it's like a prank cam. This
Trevor's
is almost
training today for your dunning pleasure.
This is his first time doing this, and see how they react to the
And
poor
he's about
person.
to lodge this raw egg into your skull.
That's right. He's trying to flip the egg on his spatula. It's not
Oh
going to
no,
work
the
out.
onion volcano has caused the entire building to be on fire.
We don't do the onion volcano after the mixer of 14. If you know, you know.
My favorite thing about hibachi, the thing I always think of, is that's how Cotton Hill died on King of the Hill. He died because he got burned on a hibachi table because he had World War II flashbacks. It was a great moment. I love finding old restaurant training videos on YouTube. And this reminds me of one, I forget what restaurant it is, that has like a carving station. And the example is like, when people come up to the carving station, have some conversation with them. Examples are like, how's the weather? How about that local sports franchise? It feels just like that. The other thing that makes the Commanders feel like a fucking dollar bin NFL franchise,
Yeah,
is in their meeting room on the wall. Anybody, anywhere, anytime. Y'all, that is what a G5 team posts when they're looking to come up in the ranks. Not one of 32 NFL teams.
Washington Commanders, if you really mean it, you are going to come play the local high school team here.
Wasn't that like Boise State's slogan for a while there? Like, come after their asses.
Not just then. We have Southern Miss. Who else was Fresno State?
Yeah, that was like a model.
Who had it first?
Florida State was doing this for a while.
Yes, they were the
like
original.
The new money team, right? Like, I am a youth, and I do not remember when Florida State sucked at football, but I am told by ancient scholars that was once the case, and then when they were on the way up, this was their whole thing.
Let us sing you a song of the before time.
Like, this like Commanders thing makes no sense. I'm like, it's the NFL. We know what time, we know what place. Everything is scheduled in advance. There is no AD that is going to schedule,
right. Who
on
are you
the road,
scheduling? Yes,
on the road
Maybe.
at USC or something. Just because this makes no sense.
So the anywhere is italicized and in yellow here.
Yes.
Maybe they're really leaning into what we talked about last week,
Okay.
where we proposed that the NFL teams just play wherever. They bought in. They want to do it. We're going to send them to Antarctica.
That could be.
They're going to play at McMurdo. It's
That
going to
could
be great.
be a slight preview for our NFL draft preview on Tuesday's episode.
Did we figure out if McMurdo Station has a stadium or not?
No! There is no way McMurdo Station has
There
a
is no stadium. There's like no Google Photos or anything there, really.
Well, time to consider donating a stadium to McMurdo Station.
Time was you didn't need to have a stadium to play this here sport. All you needed was a willingness to sacrifice and a big flat field.
I know. Ask that fucking Fairbanks, Alaska Bowl, where everyone suffered negative 10-degree weather and almost died. So
I was doing one of these best seasons of all time for another school that I have not finished due to the illness, but they didn't have like any game. They didn't have an official schedule for like 6 years of their first program.
Yeah,
so it's essentially, it was anywhere, anytime, any place, because they had no clue. They didn't even have a field until like 20 years in their football team's existence.
So I am, as is my wont, I'm reading the Wikipedia page about McMurdo Station just to double check.
Yeah.
I just want to read the subheaders under the history list for you. Name: International Geophysical Year, nuclear power, 1962 to 1972. Wind turbines, 1962 Arcus rockets, 1998 in Protocol on Environmental Protection, Scientific Diving Operations, 1989 to 2006, 2003 anti-war protest.
Okay. things are happening in McMurdo. That's
Yep, population 1,500 in the summer, so they could play football if they wanted to, and have spectators.
yes. They could do 6-man. It'd be even better.
Mm.
Yeah, this just feels like so. Like not to say this sounds collegey, but this sounds collegey as shit.
I know it's a new coach. I know it's a new thing. But it's just so weird. I mean, maybe the team's going to be really young this year, not have much of a veteran presence. Maybe they painted something different. They do have a lot of picks in the draft, and they took them all to Topgolf. But this is incredibly plucky G5 team, Washington Commanders. It makes no sense. These words like
G5 teams are plucky because they're these up and coming pros, not a football team that's been around for
yes. You play
years and
not a team that's won 3 Super Bowls at least. I think it's 3, maybe more, maybe 4. I don't know, but like it just does not feel right from the Commanders. But
this feels as insincere as Georgia going, "No one believes in us."
Yeah, it does.
It's that level of insincerity of like, no, what the fuck are you even doing?
Yes, I mean it's like anybody, anywhere, anytime. I'm like, it's probably gonna be like it's on your schedule. You may play a Thursday night game.
You're playing the Dallas Cowboys twice. You're playing the Eagles twice. Here, I'll tell you who the anybody is. I have anybody.
Oh. How did Akron make it on the schedule?
That was okay. Okay, you know what? That would be funny. We should allow NFL teams to pick preseason a little more wildly. You should be allowed to pick college teams as your preseason matchup.
Like you allow the college team to have a preseason at the same time. Like the NFL team plays one college team.
Yeah.
One random one.
If the Saints want to warm up with ULM, that's fine.
I mean,
pay them their cash.
They could do the scrimmage in the Independence Bowl. Why not?
Got to use it for more than one thing a year.
They
use it.
They use it more. We know. Don't yell at us. Don't yell. 50 Cent sponsored the Independence Bowl already. For God's sakes.
Did you see the disc golf tournament that was sponsored by Chess.com?
I did.
That was such a bizarre bit of branding.
As a former avid, disc golfer, I still have some affinity for the game. I loved it. It felt really appropriate that another game would sponsor disc golf.
Who's the big chess dude? Magnus Carlsen?
Yes.
He was there.
Oh.
So like it was a thing, all right.
I do like disc golf and there's kind of like there's a freedom to the game that's a little bit more free flowing than chess, I would say. You could play a bunch of different random shots.
You think?
Yeah, I would say. So maybe that's why they appreciate it.
Trick shot chess.
I mean, they have chess boxing. Great.
Does disc golf involve as much butt stuff as chess? Asking for a friend.
What?
I forgot about this.
Did we talk about this? I knew about this.
I swear we had to have.
Commish, I'm really sorry.
Beth, would you like to explain?
It was never proven that they actually did this. But so there was some guy who was cheating in a chess tournament by having a vibrating device up his ass.
Oh!
Yeah, you remember this?
Okay. Now, yes, the vibrating device.
And they were buzzing him. They were buzzing him.
That did not necessarily register automatically, but now okay, I got it.
Is that a thing in Frolf?
No, that would probably distract you a little bit.
I mean, I think it would distract you in chess too, but apparently they make it work.
I mean,
there's an NPR article about that.
Someone at NPR. I have a journalism degree. I went to Medill, and now I'm writing about butt stuff in chess.
Hans Niemann poo-poos a chess cheating theory that's based on vibrating beads.
Yeah, I don't think that will help you in frisbee golf whatsoever.
Hey, what sports would it help you in? Let's be real clear here. I mean, we'll
Hey,
talk
the
about this
Washington
later.
Commanders are willing to try many different things.
We'll talk about this later, but we're getting helmet communication in football.
Oh,
Why limit it to helmets?
I would think it would help you in equestrian. It would remind you that you need to keep posting.
There we go.
I would like to read directly from the
please do.
NPR article as well, if I may.
Yeah, absolutely.
okay.
Chess prodigy Hans Niemann says he is unfazed, perspicacious, and composed as he competes in the World Junior Chess Championship. But Niemann is also answering questions about an improbable method of cheating 1 year after controversy took over the chess world. Quote, have you ever used anal beads while playing chess? Piers Morgan asked Niemann on Monday's episode of his talk show. Quote, your curiosity is a bit concerning, you know. Maybe you're personally interested, Niemann replied, as Morgan persisted in asking about the bizarre idea. But I can tell you, no.
Oh, I love it. I love everything. Every time I get sad about the world, I remind myself that someone got asked questions at a chess tournament about vibrating anal beads, and just it all just comes back around.
This feels like a good time to do the ad reads.
I was just going to say, let's go straight into our ad reads. Of course, we have our sponsor, our partners. Double check them out in our link tree: 7 Coffee Roasters, Bearded Brothers, organic vegan energy bars and protein bars, cola goodies, chai tea and milk lattes, and Pour More, the liquor subscription service. Use offer code yes 3 ha's for 5% off your first order. Cannot ship to Utah, Mississippi, Alabama, Massachusetts, Tennessee, Hawaii, Michigan, or South Dakota. How's that rum, Commish?
Look, it is really good. This rum is it almost feels like I'm drinking tea.
Ooh.
So I have this black tea rum, and it feels like you're almost drinking tea with like a hint of coconut, and it is incredibly smooth. There's really not any aftertaste. And that's a problem, I think, because I will just drink all of this, and slowly throughout the podcast, you'll hear me start rambling whatsoever, and my tongue will go numb, and I'll feel like I'm on the beach in Jamaica, enjoying myself with the umbrella and the drink whatsoever, just enjoying life, wishing I had some Jamaican jerk chicken or whatever. But yeah, it's some good stuff. The way that they shipped this to me, it was the most badass package I've ever gotten in my life. Like I have never seen this intense of like a bubble wrap thing before.
Nice.
It was almost like a vacuum sealed tube bubble wrap with like the most highly inflated thing I've ever seen in my life. And the bottle arrived perfectly. I don't know when the next one goes out. I think the next one goes out in May. But yeah, this is good. If you're not in those states, this is some good stuff. I'm sure if you're like a fan of bourbon, or gin, like Pitt Girl's drinking, use the code. It's 5% off. Yeah, it's worth it, honestly. And they send you this is something that I've never seen in the store before too. So like if you went to like one of your biggest liquor stores you have in the area,
your Total Wine or whatever, yeah.
You're not, I mean, whatever, like here it's like Specs or Gabriel's or whatever your Total Wine or whatever. I promise you I would not find this. And if I did, I'm probably not buying it. So it was totally worth the first shipment. I can't wait for the next one.
Sounds good.
Imagine having a Total Wine.
Oh, not just a state liquor store. Yes, right.
Yeah. Shout out to the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board.
Also, for $5 a month, you can join our Patreon and our Discord. You get to talk about our weekly rankings debate. During the season, we do our live chats. You can see our inner workings about what happens during the week. Right now, we're in the off season, so we're compiling all sorts of weird, random stuff to post throughout the long off season. Not that long, actually. If you subscribe to Patreon, you get access to our paywall Substack posts as well, and our special podcast, including episodes of Commish's Corner. Yes, Rah 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 Yes, and the Prairie View Chronicles. We have as well our YouTube, where we have our videos, our shorts that we're uploading. We're also working on some scripted shorts for short stuff because we have some ideas that we're going to try to get going. Our Instagram, our Substack, which is currently our best season of all time for schools who stopped having a football team. The Commish is working on.
Yeah.
You say Commish?
No, it's just like I'm working on one right now. I just don't have it done. I got knocked on my ass last week with illness, and I had one started, and I was rolling with it, and then the whole body just kind of shut down. And I think I sent you guys a picture of me wearing like a blanket, like a hood.
Oh yeah, you looked
And
pathetic.
I looked horrible, and I felt as bad as that I looked in that picture because it was disgusting. But I'm gonna keep doing those. I have fun doing this. This is fun. It's kind of templated writing. It's just going through like series of team after team after team, and the fun part is these stories don't necessarily get told anymore.
No,
For me, it's just like the team stopped existing in 1973. All like, well, who was the best team that we ever had? Or this team stopped existing in 1942. But yeah, what about our glory days of this season? Like I just did the one with Creighton. Like their best team was, I mean, it's phenomenal. Just fun stories, fun characters. Like their previous coach, like he just left coaching. He was like, screw this, I'm going to be a congressman. Just weird stuff like this I get to tell, and I'm glad for every subscriber we have on the Substack too. So I appreciate it, and there's more coming, I promise.
shout out to Message Board Geniuses podcast. They go to the places that we refuse to go because I don't want to pay $5 a month to hurt my sanity by going to message boards. Pay us $5 a month to hurt your sanity with us. And lastly, Home Field Apparel, our longest partner. We've been with it the longest time. Right now, I'm wearing 2-lane sweatpants and a Colorado School of Mines shirt. I am basically entirely set up in Home Field. They have the coziest, comfiest, licensed collegiate apparel from schools big, small, and in between. Use offer code yes, ha 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 yes for 15% off your first order. And look great while you're doing it. Non-home field note. I love the fact that we have people sending us pictures of gear that they find in weird places. Today, my favorite one. Someone found, I forget where it was, I'll have to look for it, but in the States, the lower 48, found a University of Alaska Anchorage Seawolves shirt.
If I recall correctly, that person was in Olathe, Kansas.
There we go. Yes. That's fucking amazing. Why would you, in a heartbeat, wouldn't even delay on that purchase. So if you find stuff like that, tag us, send it to us, because we love that shit.
Yeah, seriously. I jokingly opened the previous podcast saying that we were sponsored by TJ Maxx or Marshalls or Ross,
yep.
or Ross, Just for Less, whatever like local. What are the other ones? I think those are the ones that I've covered that I know off the top of my head, but that's pretty much all of them. Anytime you go into your local one, they're going to have random like school merchandise that doesn't fit.
Kohl's, yes. Kohl's too, Beth, yes.
Yeah, Kohl's do the same thing. But like if they have that merchandise and it is, I think the general rule is just basically if the state is not touching you.
But even then, like for example, I would definitely in North Texas, LSU gear, don't care.
Well, I mean
but if I found New Mexico State gear,
mm-hmm.
So it has to do with adjacency and obscurity, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that makes sense because like in my area of Central PA, don't see obviously I would not buy it, but you do not see a lot of West Virginia gear in this side of the state. You also like I would be very surprised to see Marshall gear anywhere in most of Pennsylvania, maybe south of Pittsburgh. So, there's a little bit more to that than just geography.
There was a tweet we got the other day, like somebody was in State College, PA, and they found a UTEP blanket.
Yes.
Like,
hell yes.
Hell yeah.
That sold. I mean,
it's a sign.
Whatever it is.
Did they buy it?
I think they did. I told them to buy
Beth,
it.
are you going to go to State College to buy it?
I would have if they had not bought it.
I don't know
Now
if they
I
bought
won't.
it. They didn't reply.
I need to know. It's
Okay.
important.
Let's find out.
I love that. I'm trying to figure out I don't know the economics or the shipping purchasing idea behind these stores, but just again, my local TJ Maxx had a rack of University of Idaho hoodies. I don't know how they got there. I don't know how that worked.
I do think that they try to get things in that are local-ish. Because I did get a Pitt jersey very, very cheaply from my local Marshalls several years ago. And they tend to have like Pirates things or Phillies things or whatever. But it's also sort of well, we're selling stuff that didn't sell the first time, so whatever comes in comes in. I will also say that my personal favorite incidents of this is something that occurs fairly regularly at the Pittsburgh area Marshalls is, where they will accidentally order Pitt State things. And so you'll just I have a friend from college who has a whole set of Pittsburgh State Gorillas pint glasses that he picked up at Marshalls.
Hell yeah. And
Go Gorillas.
And also their script Pitt looks great too.
It's very good.
Both script Pitts are great.
So now I'm really curious. Do you think that the Pasha schools that have weird, like, not Pennsylvania names, like IUP or Cal or do you think that maybe
accidentally sent so much Cal U gear to San
that
Francisco?
would be so good? Or like a bunch of people at IUPUI suddenly get a bunch of Crimson Hawks stuff. Oh, that would be wonderful. I would be so happy.
If this has happened to you, listeners, sound off in the comments.
If it has happened to someone, you are probably listening to this podcast. So
Yes,
there you go.
please let us celebrate with you.
Always buy the gear. This is a good way to, especially if you're college football fans like us or college sports fans like us, where you have your fandoms, but you're willing to wear sort of whatever, especially if it's not a team that's like local. I get, for example, Pitt Girl, you're not going to be wearing Penn State gear emotionally. You're not,
fuck no.
Right. Or West Virginia gear or Marshall gear or whatever. Like, that's not going to happen.
Marshall's fine.
Oh,
I don't have anything against
Beth's
Marshall.
eyebrows, that got the angry eyebrows.
That's why I don't have anything against Marshall.
That is true.
Oh.
You just hate right angles.
Fix your
I
goalpost,
did
Marshall.
find out, by the way, that the person that tagged us did buy the UTEP
Hell yeah.
blanket, but
Well, I just got an hour and a half of my day back tomorrow.
But hold on, it was at a Target near Waddle Road, and they did see another blanket there.
Ooh,
This was
if
2
it was
days
a
ago.
Target, we can check the inventory. Hang on.
That is true.
Sickos Committee checks the Target.
That would be my absolute, like, that would
Which
be
one was it? Which Target was it?
on Waddle
It was
Road.
the one that was on Waddle Road, not the downtown State College.
This would absolutely be my TV blanket forever. Like, it would go in that pile of like blankets on the couch, and it would just be there forever.
I really like how this is almost how we are developing new fandoms
Yes,
throughout the United States.
it's a sign. If you find it, it's your fandom.
It's a sign that, like, you should be following this team, and this is kind of the Sicko's way of thinking and following. It is TJ Maxx, Home Goods, whoever your conglomerate that owns them, we will advertise for you, and in this particular way, mess your logistics up even further. Like, just scramble.
But that's gotta fuck
everything.
it up, right? Of like, all of
No.
a sudden, this TJ Maxx North Texas is selling just big numbers of.
Pitt Girl, they have to be talking about the Target by the Wegmans on Colonnade, right?
Probably. I'm not familiar enough with State College. I will say that I checked the Target website and tried to see if Target's website thinks that this blanket is in stock at either of the State College Targets, and it says that it's not.
No,
It was a,
That
there was
doesn't mean
there was
that
a
it
rush
isn't,
on it.
though.
There was a rush on it. That's the
there was a
problem.
rush.
Dang
That was
it.
2
And I
days
mean,
ago, though. That was 2 days ago.
Maybe so that particular Target is like right next to a Kohl's. I wonder if they were trying to put this thing into a Kohl's and missed.
Could be.
You could call the Target. You could confuse the ever living fuck out of some poor Target employee
man.
tomorrow morning.
Hey, the streets on the internet said that y'all have UTEP blankets. Can you hold
y'all
it
got
for
that
me?
UTEP gear?
Y'all got that-
State College Target employee. What's UTEP?
You guys have a blanket and it has my name on it. What's your name? Udup.
Up. Sponsor us for real.
Ah!
So can we talk about the two new rules we're gonna have in college football?
Wait, we're getting new rules?
They're
rules.
adding the 2-minute warning.
What?
So we're doing that, and we're gonna have helmet communication for all of FBS as well as sideline tablets. Which is the coach that's gonna refuse to have a tablet?
I'm not sure Pat Narduzzi understands how cell phones work, so
I want to change the question.
Okay.
Which coach is going to throw the tablet first?
First or furthest?
First. I'm not going to say furthest.
I mean, they're not gonna give Muschamp a tablet in his position, I don't think.
No, I mean, he's a coordinator, so no.
Also, I feel like he's really chilled out in the last couple of years. The grandma glasses really calmed him down.
The glasses kind of like, maybe he was just so angry because he couldn't see right.
It's a shame that Nick is gone because he would have yeeted this thing into the sun.
Oh, absolutely. He break it over his knee.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
lost my vision, and I'm
Who
so
are
mad.
super-
I don't know
who are
why.
Super angry coaches right now.
I mean, Narduzzi's one,
Yeah.
but I don't necessarily think he's not fiery angry.
not usually.
like-
They have the strength
Saban
coach is usually
retired.
pretty good about being the get back guy for him.
Like
See-
Saban retired. Venables is kind of wild.
Yeah.
Venables needed that get back coach, so maybe his first year in the SEC that drives him a little bit off the deep end. Maybe.
I could see PJ Fleck doing it. Here's the thing: we have two breeds of coach who would break a tablet. The first is like I am only fueled with rage. This is the only thing that sustains me. It's the only emotion that I'm capable of feeling. And so I will take it out on everything around me, coach. There's also the coach that's just kind of weird. Like I could see a dude like Les Miles breaking a tablet in half just because he's like, well, I was sitting here thinking and I realized you can snap a cracker in half. And I wondered if you could snap an iPad in half.
That is true.
I could absolutely see him doing that just on like a weird flight of fancy.
Yeah.
Are they going to cut off the communication like a couple seconds before the snap? Or is it going to be like the UFL where they can just talk forever?
No, there's going to be a cutoff of communication. So there's like a time frame. I think it's going to be 15 seconds, just similar to the NFL, where you can't communicate via in-helmet with 15 seconds left on the play clock. I think that's what it is. They're going to do it in all of FBS. The tricky part is going to be when the FBS teams face the FCS teams. Which,
I didn't consider that.
That's going to be a little bit different and unique. Some FCS teams are kind of working it in too. So I would think maybe like the bigger schools in the FCS, maybe like South Dakota State, maybe some folks in like Montana. They're going to be working with some things like that. I don't necessarily think it is mandated in there, but the FCS thing, it's going to filter down through.
So what I'm seeing is non-FBS conferences interested in using wearable technologies can submit an experimental proposal to the committee. Now that I have this idea that you can submit experimental proposals as a conference, now
what experiment would you like to conduct, Jordan?
Oh,
I don't
what do you
know.
wait? No, hold on. Not what we like to conduct. What can we get the Big Sky Conference to do?
That is true.
That's fair.
I think you should be allowed to put communications in every helmet. And you should be able to talk as long as you want.
Like just nonstop talking.
Yeah.
Just got guys on the field screaming, "Shut the fuck up!"
Exactly right. I want to see players ripping off their helmet.
Players ripping off their helmet. You know, that'd be
Football's going to
nuts.
turn into Xbox Live awfully quickly.
Oh, it's exactly what I'm
Mm.
thinking of. It's
Mhm.
you see the vision. I like this.
Can you imagine the quarterback dropping back and like, he's open, throw it?
But that's the UFL. The UFL
Yeah.
doesn't have a cutoff, so
No.
I assume they're screaming coverages at the quarterbacks. That's so good. The 2-minute warning thing, it's not supposed to be anything new. It's not going to be a new media timeout. It's just like
Supposedly,
for now.
for
I know.
now.
If I talked about this the last time we talked about this, if I wanted to watch the NFL, I would watch the NFL. I feel a little bit this way about the helmet communications too. Like, yes, it's better. I understand, whatever. But I am going to miss the signs with all the silly things on them.
I am gonna miss the multicolored Rutgers guys. I am really gonna miss
The Wiggles, the
That.
fucking Wiggles of
Seriously,
Rutgers.
I am gonna miss them so much. Like there was like red Rutgers, there was green Rutgers, there was yellow
Purple
Rutgers,
yeah.
there was orange Rutgers. I don't even know.
Purple Rutgers,
There was
purple Rutgers.
There was so many different Rutgers. Rutgers is, but like I'm gonna
Rutger,
miss
I
that.
believe.
The Rutgerai? Is that what? Okay. The Rut guy.
That is definitely some like incredibly cursed New Jersey sandwich place.
Oh, yeah,
man.
the Rut guy. Oh yeah.
It's a New Jersey cactus with like cigarette butts growing out of it.
Beth's face.
We're putting the suck in succulent.
Hey! Oh! Just, man, I'm gonna miss that. I feel like the need for the helmet communication with the Stallion stuff that happened last year, it was basically inevitable it was gonna happen this year. I feel like that's something to get used to. The 2-minute warning thing, I don't necessarily feel like it's a necessity. Like just throwing in a clock stoppage for the hell of it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know ball enough to understand why this is important or not.
I don't necessarily know why it's important. I just don't. I don't get it. It kind of feels like one of the uniqueness of the college football game. Like if all of a sudden the CFB game is like you have to have 2 feet in. Now,
right? Well,
it feels something like that, or like, hey, you have to be touchdown instead of just you fall down and you're down. Like those little tiny things that are different. It kind of feels like that.
Aside, I agree with you here. It also annoys the shit out of me for a variety of reasons that the NFL rule is that you have to be touchdown instead of you falling down, counting as you being down.
Like the knee down.
Like the NFL is supposed to be harder, but you can get tripped by the turf monster and then just run away from the turf monster? No, respect the turf monster making the tackle. Thank you.
The turf monster never went pro.
Had his best years in college.
The turf monster went pro in something other than sports, just like the majority of other NCAA athletes.
Are we sponsored by the the commercials drilled in my head, like all of ours, I bet. But yeah, the 2-minute warning just feels it's gonna feel so out of place.
See, I'm with you on. I don't want this to become the NFL. That being said, I also believe that men's basketball should go to quarters, and I know that
no,
a lot of people have that same like.
Women's basketball has quarters.
I know,
this is not
but a lot of people are the same way about like, oh, I wanted to watch the NBA, I'd watch the NBA. We have 2 halves because that's better. I don't know. Like,
it's not better. I think we can all agree that it's not better. Women's basketball is. I think the game flow is better in women's basketball because they have quarters in part. Like come on, people.
I do. As we go into our next thing, we lost one of our favorite coaches in college football history this week, and we can talk about this lightly. He lived a great life. Archie Cooley. He was head coach of what he's best known for. We talked about on this podcast last year. He was head coach of Mississippi Valley State during the Satellite Express days, where they would run basically proto run and gun and basically force my favorite play they ran was the Satellite Express, where basically they would line up 4 wide receivers on one side and then Jerry Rice on the other and just make the defense choose. That's so goddamn mean. It's so mean.
It was one of the he was kind of one of the innovators of the game, basically unlocking Jerry Rice's potential. One of the few Mississippi Valley State head coaches that have left the school with a winning record in their history, which, you know, again, I'm sure there's more, but the history at Mississippi Valley State, not necessarily a great one. Football wise, like their history, they are, from what I can see on Wikipedia, they're 248, 327 and 10. So they're, you know, about a .432 win percentage. There's really not too many. No, they don't have any conference titles. They've only made the playoffs once, and that was the 1984 team that we talked about. They only made the FCS playoffs like once. So like this record-setting offense was one that we had Blue on to discuss. And we talked about it in July. I think the name of the episode title, don't mind that because it's called Huff Your Swedish Deathbed.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, so that was one, I think it was July 18th, 2023 when the episode came out. But that was one we did the best season of all time for the 1984 Mississippi State Delta Devils. It was one where, you know, Willie Totten and Jerry Rice, just incredible college football Hall of Fame quarterback and wide receiver. We know Jerry Rice is the all-time NFL leading receiver. There is an incredible legacy. He coached at Arkansas Pine Bluff too. He was 27-13-2 with them. 1 year at Norfolk State. And then he did a little bit of time with Paul Quinn, the Paul Quinn Tigers. But I mean, his head coaching record, he was 83-78-5. Just a legacy of his offense. And if you think about the Satellite Express offense along with the no huddle combined with 5 wides, just constantly throwing the ball.
Just nightmare for anyone that played against him.
Just an absolute nightmare of an offense to play against as a defense. Just constantly running after your quarterback to try to defend these 5 wides that are running all over the place. And none of them are running like a 3-yard route or anything. They're all running at least 10 yards.
All the checkdowns are like after 10 yards.
The checkdowns are like 13 yards down the field.
Yeah,
it's an insane offense. There's a great book about him, which it is in my queue to read after I'm finished reading a couple of different books. The book that I have on the Falkland Islands War, the Jason Kirk book that we have, Hell is a World Without You, is kind of going at the same time as the Falkland Islands War book, which is kind of difficult for me personally, but I'm just trying to do both. And then this Archie Cooley book, it's called A Legend of a Gunslinger. It's on Amazon. It is, I mean, his offense, again, kind of set the spread offense to where it is now, and just a legend of the game. And, you know, we'll miss him deeply. I'm sure Mississippi Valley State misses him too, all his family and everybody that he left behind. But, you know, just a great figure in the game. Also, fantastic hat game. Like, I don't think I could ever pull off any of the hats that he can pull off as well as he did.
Willie Totten is now Southern's QB coach. That's awesome. So I didn't want to talk about spring games because we talked about this. I don't like spring games. I don't really think they matter. Whatever.
But
However, Indiana. We got to talk Indiana.
Thank you, Indiana.
Indiana went into victory formation during their spring game. What the fuck are you doing?
Look.
I love all of our followers so much because
oh my god,
because every response was
I will simply deny you the crown and live forever.
every response was Mario Cristobal, Mario Cristobal, Mario Cristobal. Fucking beautiful. Thank you guys. You knew the joke. I just lobbed it up in the air, and every one of you took a swing at that ball. Oh, fuck yeah. Good for all of you.
I mean, this was... Look, we had people in our mentions, like, adding the Miami Hurricanes. Like, we had...
the Hurricane.
Somebody who was just like, at Miami Hurricanes, take note.
I love imagining that social media manager printing off the tweet and like dropping it on Mario's desk.
If I were a head coach and I were as affected as most head coaches are nowadays, I would ask like my social media people to be like, print out everything people say about me, search my name, and then print. Give me a presentation every morning in my morning briefing. Like he's the president.
I think that's probably better than doing what Hugh Freeze does, which is just name searching yourself and then being weird.
I need a dossier of people I have to fight.
Yes, absolutely. I would go after a win. I would fucking go to the press conference with a list of names and just call people out. Hey, at Hurricane 355, go fuck yourself. I kneeled this time.
It's at Hurricane 305 because that's the area code.
Yes. Okay.
You need to brush up on your pit bull. He's.
I've often been told that. Yes.
That's right. You need to brush up on your pit bull.
Dale. For the longest time, and I speak Spanish, I thought he was saying Dolly, like Dolly. And I speak Spanish.
I mean, look, he could be a fan of Dolly Parton. Who knows?
I know.
I mean, they just did a song.
They did just do a song together. That is correct, Arthur. They did. This one goes out to all those hard-working ladies working at 9 to 5. Working up 3 jobs.
The idea of because the score was offense 28, defense 25 when the team went into the victory formation. And I just...
Gotta preserve the lead.
It's a spring game. It's a goddamn spring game, guys. Run more plays. Do something.
We will
start as you intend to go on.
No, we need to be thinking about next week. It's time to move on to our next opponent.
Right.
I thought that Defense University put up a great fight. They have a wonderful coach, and I think they're going to do well in conference this year. But we've got a forward mindset. We're moving forward.
Does the National Defense University actually have a football team? Hold up.
Look. Okay, so Indiana plays FIU to open their season, so they are playing a school from Miami.
They accept 65% of students at National Defense University. We gotta be more selective who gets to go to NDU, y'all. Sorry, continue.
I was saying that like Indiana plays FIU, so they do play somebody from Miami to open the season. So it kind of works out. And
somewhere where Mario did coach.
Cristobal did coach. He did coach at FIU. So
they fired his ass, which again, in retrospect, one of the funniest things that has happened in coaching in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
I was hanging out with my sister this weekend, and she's not she's a sports ball kind of person. Like, she thinks sports are kind of silly. And I did have to explain to her that Texas A&M basically gave $90 million guaranteed to a man named Jimbo, and that got her to laugh. She died laughing. That was enough for her. She goes, doesn't Texas A&M have lawyers to like not do conference? No, that was on purpose. Mm-hmm. This was like, oh, you think I'm poor? Well, fuck you. I'll show you how not poor I am.
Oh yeah, this was dick swinging.
Yeah, and they got that dick chopped off.
Their endowment is a little less endowed.
Mm-hmm. Just the tip. Sorry, Pitt Girl was drinking. Sorry.
It's fine. I'm fine.
It's important to irrigate your sinuses with gin on a regular basis.
Obnoxiously Pit Boyfriend once accidentally got me to spit take / snort key lime LaCroix. And man, I cannot recommend having your sinuses smell like key lime LaCroix less. It was kind of nice, but also the carbonation was so painful.
Have y'all ever snorted alcohol?
No.
Okay, never mind.
God damn it, Dartmouth
No,
again.
explain.
Dartmouth.
I've snorted
Dartmouth.
gin before.
Why would you do that?
My friend tried to drop gin into his eye because he thought he would get him drunk faster.
I can see the
He's now a
logic.
CEO.
Okay.
Dartmouth invented butt chugging before Tennessee did, didn't they?
Look, snorting, it was not pleasant. It didn't really do anything. I only did it once. I wish y'all could see the faces these people were making.
I just
Why?
I don't understand. I don't understand.
We thought it might get us drunk faster.
Did it?
No, it just hurt. It looks it's like the TikTok I've kept seeing of the guy who tried to do a shot of Everclear and like it all just comes back up.
I didn't watch that video.
Attempting to do a shot of Everclear feels like a reasonable, stupid college thing.
You attempted to drown yourself with alcohol in the name of getting drunk faster.
Yeah.
You put the liquid where the air goes.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
quit.
me too. Hey, you know what? Someone married me.
I am
Y'all
so sorry.
Y'all hang out with me. Hold up.
That's true. This says more about us than it says about Jordan.
I'm an idiot. See the alto clef conversation earlier.
I'm an idiot. I went to Louisiana Monroe. So, yeah, there you go. It works.
How did we end up in a Northwestern football tweet?
Dude, I don't know. And I'm still dying laughing about this.
Uh-oh.
So we're in a Northwestern football tweet, not just a tweet, a graphic. They put us in a graphic.
Mm-hmm.
And we're the top center of the graphic.
Warning, I'm going to expand the graphic.
Expand the graphic.
Oh,
expand
God.
that.
It has embiggened.
Yeah, we ended up on a tweet. Northwestern football tweets out, talk of the town. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the most unique experience in college football. Okay, I'm going to argue that it is a unique experience. It is not the most unique experience.
Okay, I mean, you know,
we've all come up with better.
They will argue semantics.
Can things be more or less unique? I always think of that as more of a binary. Like it either is unique or it is not unique.
Can you have the most unique? I don't know. There's a better word.
Either there's one of it or there's multiple of it. Right?
I guess.
Am I nuts?
Yeah,
I'm
y'all
probably
can
nuts.
No, I see that.
But our tweet, once again, we're back to now I have to know if you can safely sailgate on Lake Michigan to watch a Northwestern football game. We're back to the fucking, can we get to Lake Michigan in a boat?
So that's our tweet. It just says,
part of the season, yes.
I found out, by the way, that when you go through the part of the canal where they electrify the water to kill the carp, you are not allowed on the deck of the boat. And they use steel cables to hold things together because it's an issue of if you fell in, your heart might stop.
Oh my God.
Northwestern football, heart-stopping
Take your catamaran through the Welland Canal. Do it.
You can't jet ski through it. You can't kayak through it. You can't do any of that.
What do you mean?
Can't or shouldn't?
Cannot. The Army Corps of Engineering will not let you.
Fight me.
But
that still sounds like a shouldn't.
I mean, yes. But
if they don't catch you.
Joey mentioned the episode I wasn't on, the Tom Scott video, and I went and rewatched it because I remembered it. And apparently what happens a lot of times is that the fish, what happens is the fish that try to go up through there get zapped, black out. It doesn't kill them. And they just end up back down river again. But yeah, they electrify the water to a shocking amount. Pun not intended.
But
right. So yeah, if you go through there, you're not allowed to stand on deck or anything. It's also apparently these Asian carp are huge and can jump and knock people out on boats.
Oh, punch fish.
Yes, like I did not know this. So I learned a whole bunch again. I'll forget it again and I'll relearn it again. Having goldfish memory means I get so excited about new things all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Jordan.
Yes, absolutely. That movie was a documentary.
Our podcast is uncluttered by memory.
Uh-huh.
I will say,
and so now we're part of the Northwestern Football Graphic.
Yeah, we're now part of the Northwestern Football Graphic. I will say that video, that short we did about the it is our most popular reel on Instagram. It's over like 24,000 like views.
Sure,
about trying to sail up there. Like when we had the Barkley Marathon thing take off on YouTube, it's like, I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's the Barkley Marathons. But like our most, popular Instagram reel is me wanting to sail a riverboat up to watch Northwestern football, and then we get put in this graphic. by the actual
Instagram,
by the actual football team. And then I quote, I was like, look, Ma, we made it. We're on a Northwestern Football Graphic. And then, like, the Northwestern football media followed us. Like, the people that run the account follow us now. Just because I want to sailgate a Northwestern football game on Lake Michigan, which seems like a reasonable thing to want to do now. But then, in my mind, as the commish, it's not so reasonable as like the normal college football fan. But as the commish, this is the normal thing to do. Like, I've got to see this from a boat.
Mm-hmm.
I have to watch the punt. I have to watch the punt from the punter fight with these Lake Michigan winds in November. I have to see this with my own eyes, and I want to watch this from a riverboat in Lake Michigan.
I have a breaking graphic from Texas Football Life. The most obscure team each Big 12 school has ever played. This was released 30 minutes ago. Arizona played Camp Harry Jones in 1917. Arizona State played the Phoenix Indian School B team in 1923. Baylor played Toby's Practical Business College in 1899. BYU played the Pacific Fleet. UCF played Moscow, Russia. I'm not sure what that is.
In 92?
Cincinnati played Stump's Boat Club. Colorado played the Denver Wheel Club. Houston played Fort Hood in 46. Iowa State played the Omaha Light Guards in 1903. Kansas played the Kansas City Medics in 1897. Kansas State played Junction City High School. Oklahoma State played the Tulsa Businessmen. TCU played the Houston Heavyweights.
Did they just play the Chamber of Commerce?
That sounds like it.
I hope so.
Texas Tech played the Notre Dame JV team in 1932. Utah played the Oregon Short Line Railroad. And Wyoming played the Mahoning Cycling Club in 1896. This has been your
mention? Oh, did we not get a mention?
Oh, West Virginia.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear us. Sorry.
The cycling club.
That was the last one. They played the cycling club. Yeah, at the end.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I swear to God, you said Wyoming.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. I meant West Virginia. My bad.
Okay. I was real confused.
Okay.
I don't know why I did that. Okay.
I've resolved all of the confusion because I was like, Mahoning sounds like it's here, but you said Wyoming.
Yeah, the Mahoning Cycling Club, 1896, West Virginia.
The one that is throwing me off the most is UCF, Moscow in 92. Like the rest, everybody playing, you got 1917, 1903, 1923, 1897, 1898, 1899.
They played the Moscow Bears of the Russian American Football League.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to stop the Cold War ourselves.
Yeah.
Russian American.
It was the Rocky IV for UCF.
Now I
just need to know if this is still a thing.
It is.
It is still a thing.
Wow.
Yay!
The Russian American Football Championship is the highest level of American football played in Russia, originally founded in 1991, previously known as the League of American Football. I will not attempt to pronounce the Russian. 11 teams in 2 divisions participating in the league. Since the 2020 season, the Eastern European Super League serves as the highest league of American football in Russia.
There you go. I see the Moscow Patriots, the Moscow Black Storm,
The Moscow Bruins, the Moscow Swans, the Krasnoyarsk Siberian
Sure.
Devils. That's a good one.
I-
Moscow Tanks.
Oh, I like
that one.
okay.
the Moscow Dragons, Perm Steel Tigers. Okay, we're going to have to do a dive on this. There's got to be logos here somewhere.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
going to
God,
say, I
yes.
need to see these.
The Moscow Swans. Okay, well, put a pin in this. We're coming back on this one. This is the absolute something we're coming back to. Okay.
That can't
I
possibly
love
be
that's
it.
how that's like
There's no
breaking
way.
news because we got a tweet like 30 minutes ago. Like, look at this weird stuff. I love us.
Beep, 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 beep.
Chelyabinsk Scouts. Folks, do not make us do a Russian pronunciation game. It will not go well.
But literally UCF in the middle of their schedule, they were an independent playing in 92. That would have been they were in FCS, so 1 AA. And in between games against Western Illinois and Nicholls State, they hosted the Moscow Bears and beat them 43-6. Sure.
USA.
Yep. Hold up, Vamp for a second while I tweet this schedule out.
There is
So
they played Nicholls State, and then they played Russia. You go from the Colonels to the Moscow Bears.
UCF in 1992 played Western Illinois.
The Leathernecks.
Then
The Colonels
a team
and the
from-
Bears.
a team from Moscow. And then Nicholls. Sure. Okay, set. Thank you.
Amazing.
I don't want to talk about Texas's spring game and
Come on, Jordan. Buy into the hype.
quarterback controversy.
Buy into the
God,
hype, Jordan.
no.
Texas
No.
spring game.
Arch Manning
Arch
had
Manning.
3 touchdowns.
3
Jordan.
touchdowns. Let's ignore
Burn
that.
all this shit
Throwing
down.
the Hail Mary at the end of the game. But 3
Burn all this
touchdowns.
shit. No,
Arch Manning. Arch.
Texas is going 6-6. And
Texas
everyone's going
is
to transfer.
back!
Texas
6-6.
is kind of back. I mean, they were in the playoff last year. I think they're
Oh,
going to do
don't-
it again.
Oh my God.
Texas
They're
is
gonna do it
always
again.
in the superposition of back and not back until we look at them.
This is
They are.
quantum Texas. Jesus
We got to
Christ.
stop looking at them.
Schrodinger's
I know.
Texas.
Just don't look. Just don't
No,
look.
sorry. We are looking
Texas
at the
was little in the
Longhorns.
middle, but it got much back.
Oh.
People don't appreciate the whip crack sound effects in that song nearly enough.
I mean,
No,
really
all I can
don't.
think about is
The
John Claude Van Damme, and it's Arthur's fault.
the only song with that has a more efficient whip crack than that song is got to
Whip
be
It?
Devo's Whip It. Yes,
Yeah, just whip it.
that's it.
Hey,
No.
Beth, whenever I get a soundboard set up, I absolutely need
Now
a
it is
whip
called
crack.
Bevo's Whip It.
There we go.
Bevo's Whip It.
Da na 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 na. But moose.
Yeah, okay. we'll go there.
Yeah.
Okay, kids, I think that's all we got for tonight. This episode has been a
That
fever.
whip.
This episode has been a fever dream. I love all of you. Everyone go to sleep.
You
Good
can't
night.
tell me what to do.
Yeah.
You're not our real dad.
When a problem comes along, you must whip it.
We'll see you guys on the other side.
When something's going wrong, you must whip it.